Hello everyone and welcome! Today we're finally at the semi-final stage of the fastest Chaos Deathmatch tournament where the 4 best deathmatch players around are going to duke it out. And in the first set we've got Ganji playing as the Byzantines in blue, taking on Frost9 playing as the Italians in teal or turquoise or whatever the heck you want to call this color. Looks like both players starting with a Hussar top of the line raiding unit for their civilizations. Of course, the Byzantine missing Blast Furnace is going to make it a little bit harder to get a villager or two as the villager immediately runs into the town center. Now, if you're not familiar with what this tournament is all about, this is essentially deathmatch on a hyper random set of maps. And by the way, I'm going to zoom out just so you can see how hyper random. I mean, I don't even know how to describe this. This is some kind of PD marsh highland. What the hell? What the hell? I mean, this is like something out of the gross wintry reaches of the north of Canada, or maybe even somewhere in northern Scotland with a lot of bogs and a lot of water and whatnot and elevations. And what the hell? There is a sloth of bears. I saw 2 groups of them. What the? How many bears are there? I'm going to zoom out. In any event, this is what hyper random is. You have no clue what the hell you're going to see. I have no clue what the hell we're going to see as the first bear finally does bite the dust. The bear animation, always the coolest. They kind of spread their legs and he dies. Another one dies in the castle. If you're not familiar with what deathmatch is, before we dive into the hyper random nature of this game, which means that these resource patches are very weird. 202 stone here, 303 stone here, 972 gold rather over there. Deathmatch is a version of Age of Empires where everyone starts the game in Imperial Age with all of their technologies already researched, with very, very, very few exceptions like Flemish Revolution, for example, or I believe even the First Crusade. But everyone's units are top of the line, everyone's techs are top of the line, and you start with 55,000 resources, which is why you see at the 4-minute mark of the game, we already have a massive amount of death already happening right before us. You start with 20,000 food, 20,000 wood, 10,000 gold, 5,000 stone, and that lets you build about as big an army as you possibly can. Oh my goodness. Now, because of the water-based nature of this map, I mean, naturally you have to give a slight advantage here, maybe not so slight, to the Byzantines. I mean, the Italians, don't get me wrong, in any other version of the game, of Age of Empires, where you actually have to get to Imperial Age, you don't start the game in Imperial Age, the Italians with their cheaper dock technologies, their cheaper fishing ships, they might be pretty damn good. We've got a few demo ships here. But the Byzantines, I mean, how do you contest the water with the Byzantines? They've got Greek fire, they've got Dromans with bigger blast radiuses. Radii. They've got the heavy demo ships as well, which I don't think the Italians have. But in any event, game number 1 of this set, it is a best of 7, like we saw Ganji in blue, Frost9 in teal. I'm gonna zoom out because there's a lot of theaters of war here. It looks like our players are very much invested in the water. Remember, the Byzantine fire ships do have extra range and they attack faster, I believe 25% faster. And we'll see how much demos play a role here, because they can definitely destroy a land army in the blink of an eye. We've seen it in the quarterfinals. Now we are seeing it in the semifinals as both players push into each other seaward wise. Looks like our blue Byzantine expanding to the right side of his map. Frost9, our Italian in teal, has the exact same idea. Both of these players, by the way, can have at each other through land. So they are contesting a water a lot, when in reality they can do many different types of multi-pronged attacks. But you never know, you send a bunch of units this way, all of a sudden a demo ship catches you and all of your units have gone bye-bye. Now, condottieri are the name of the game for our Italian. I was gonna say Genoese crossbows must be coming out, especially against the Byzantines, whose only land-based units are cavalry, which are going to die to these ninja turtles in teal. I mean, look at the army count here. Frost9, 130. Ganji, 46. But Frost9 has done this at the expense of his economy. He's down 40 villagers. It looks like we've got a few Dromans out as well. Gotta love the animation on the Dromans. Such a fun thing when the developers introduce a new unit. We've got land versus water on the left, water versus water with a little bit of land mixed in. Remember, pikemen do come with a nice little attack bonus against ships. I want to say 9, but I'm probably wrong. No, of course I'm wrong. 16. What about condottieri? Do they come with attack bonus against water? No, they don't. So our Italian might want to just start, rather keep building pikemen. Not really finding much purchase here in the center. What about the Ninja Turtles? Do they come with any kind of relevant attack bonus? Probably. Yeah, no, 5 against ships. There you go. Frost9 has taken the eastern part of the map handily. The center is being contested, but now that he's cleaned up the Byzantine to the right, he is free to move into the center. And these Trebs are all of a sudden in a little bit of trouble. Only 2 Dramens, and the crossbows are destroying them. Bombard cannons are out. Frost9 has 100 villagers being trained. He really expects to get sideswiped here by our Byzantine, who already has 133 villagers of his own. Center position here pretty secure for our Byzantine. What's going on the right side? He's also pushing back this Italian navy with these fire ships. Seconds between attack 0.2. I'm trying to see. I'm clicking on the wrong freaking unit. Of course I am. 0.3 for the Italians. So again, the Byzantine navy here, in my opinion, the superior one. But the navy here is secondary. You've got to destroy your opponent's structures. You've got to push through the land. And all of a sudden, forget the side attacks. Forget the left side of the screen, the right side of the screen. The center is where the action is. Cataphracts are moving forward. But instead of finding infantry, they're finding a bunch of fast fire ships, and they are absolutely slaughtering them. How many are left? Only 8. I mean, the Cataphract, such a badass unit, but not against so many Genoese crossbows. What is our follow-up for our Byzantine? Both players reaching the 200 population. One at it, one approaching it. Our Byzantine, did he go way too much into water? 29 galleons, 10 fire ships, demo ships, a Dramen. He's got 11 land units, no more Trebs. Nothing really to puncture through the center position of the Italian. And he's supply capped, which means that even if he started training a unit or two, it's going to be a while before that unit pops out of whatever barracks, stable, archery range, castle, whatever the hell. And it looks like, look at that. Ganji has just stopped completely training any land-based units, but I mean, with the Navy, don't you want to go and attack over here? Don't you want to engage somewhere? The Dramens will do a good job against these towers. They do come with a decent little attack bonus against buildings 34. Okay, now he does. Now he's pivoting here to the left. More Dramens. Now, Dramens should be able to do a pretty good job. One thing I didn't factor in when I said it's going to be land-based armies that win you this game. Maybe, maybe not. This is a pretty narrow island. And so Dramens can reach a lot of this. And not just Dramens, galleys as well. Galleons, because they're big boys now. 7 kills on this galleon, 8. 4 of those are villagers, but he will bite the dust. He is significantly outnumbered here. And yet, look at this. Stalemate continues in the center. The demos, the demos. Oh, why did he stop? Why does he still have 3 of them here? Not the greatest detonation. Ooh, he tried to sneak the demo behind the fire ship. Sneaky, sneaky. But Frost9 caught wind of it. He's cleaning up here to the left. He's cleaning up here to the right. To the center, he is starting to fall apart a little bit. 21 Genoese crossbows are all that stand in the way. What is going on here? This is hurting my eyes. This little tiny patrol move out of Frost9. Oh, man. These 21 Genoese crossbows are all that stands in front of 4 paladins. Those 4 paladins will die basically in the blink of an eye if they ever engage with those Genoese crossbows. And look at this. Neutral docks, neutral ports. I guess you could trade. This is a big exodus of villagers. And somehow the economies are incredibly similar. 138 to 119. Army count, though, blue is down about 20 army count. Now Frost9 doing his fancy patrol maneuvers, but further back into his base. He is getting pushed back by our Byzantine on the left to the right. He is the one pushing. And now he's brought a few bombard cannons on water, also known as elite cannon galleons. But oh, the demos are closing in. They're very clumped. Oh, not getting too much damage done. Fantastic defense there by our Italian, whose center island position has been cleared up. So our Byzantine, look at that, has taken complete land control of the center of the map. But like I said, land control can be a fleeting victory, especially when these galleons come with 9 range. Basically means they have access to all the land on all of the map. I'm trying to click how many Dromans. 9 Dromans, 5 trebuchets means bye-bye castle. You are not a Byzantine castle. 7,000 HP to 8,100 HP. 2 paladins patrolling the back here. They have 1 kill, not even a villager. Ooh, the Dromans are trying to cause a little bit of blast damage. And remember, I believe the Byzantine blast radius area of effect is 1. Compared to other generic Dromans, I want to say, I feel like their blast radius is bigger. Thanks to Greek fire. No, not an upgrade I really... not an upgrade that I really have to talk about a lot in my casts. Seeing as how about what 99.9% of the games that I cast are all land all the time. I mean, look at this navy out of our Italian. 54 galleons, 31 more in the production tab. Ganji's got 85 villagers on wood, 53 for Frost 9. So these 2 players are not going to run out of wood anytime soon. I mean, look at this. I feel like we've been seeing this as a migration of villagers for the last 10 hours here in the back of Blue's base. Where are Teal's lumberjacks, by the way? He does have fewer, but still a good amount. He is now the one at 200 population, while our Byzantine struggles to hit 180 and only 6 more units on the way. That being said, don't ever discount the Dromans. 12 range is going to be pretty damn good. Now mix in some of them fire ships, and all of a sudden you've got a pretty unattackable, unassailable navy. That being said, the quantity here is very much in favor of our Italian, who has 107 villagers and 92 army count. I mean, this is what I was talking about. Look, the Dromans can literally from here attack into this cannon galleon. It's because this distance is smaller than 12. Now he's moving in through the left as a bird screeches overhead. What are you, a vulture? Yeah, you're a vulture. Disgusting, disgusting, predatory animal. Are vultures technically predators? I remember reading a big article, like every little kid who grew up in the 90s, I was very much in love with the movie Jurassic Park and the Michael Crichton book. Before that, I shouldn't say before that, after that, I should say. I saw the movie first and then got me interested in reading his books, which were just, oh my God, such an amazing author. Rest in peace, Michael Crichton. But I remember reading an article about how the Tyrannosaurus Rex, despite its crazy appearance in the movie, was not a predator. It was, I mean, it was a carnivore, but it was an actually, they think it was a scavenger. Just because of the shape of its body wasn't exactly attuned. Oh, that could have gotten way worse for those crossbowmen. So I don't know why I thought this is a predator technically somebody that hunts, or is it just anyone above you on the food chain that will eat you if it finds you? Because if a bear finds a dead body and eats it, is that bear technically a predator? I don't know. In any event, what is a predator are these Dromans. Let's see how many kills they've got. 19 on 8 is not great. Their HP is terrible. He's got to be very careful here. A bit of a side swipe. Finally, we've got some land-based attacks as our Italians hussars start moving across the map, finding these lumberjacks. If he can kill the lumberjacks, this is like the desert planet Arrakis. He who controls the wood controls the game. Forget the spice, forget intergalactic travel. You need lumber, you need to cut down trees, and if you can't cut down trees, you cannot build ships. And without ships, your opponent gets the water. And when your opponent gets the water, you are in oopsie bad time land. As we say to our young son. Bad. Although I don't think he understands it yet. I don't think he's old enough to understand. Apparently it takes 9 months for babies to understand the word no, but what I do understand is, let's see how many kills. Okay, only 6. Oh, I should have highlighted them before, because I see a bunch of them died here on the right, here on the left. And despite this small little engage, it looks like the players have kind of disengaged from one another. And cannon galleons are exposed. No demo ships here for the Italian to take advantage of any of it. Rather, our Byzantine, not our Italian. And where were you, Dramans? One of you is very weak indeed. Cannon galleons do outrange the Dramans by 3, I believe. Yeah, 15 range to 12. And this is going to be very problematic now for our Byzantine. Now, the good news is he's got cheaper camels. Remember, Byzantine trash, which I guess camels technically... Nah, I don't want to call camels trash. Certain Byzantine units are cheaper. So many explosions, so many cannonballs, arrows, anything and everything. The camels look like they have cleaned up this entire attack with the exception of 2 final hussars. And right as I finish that sentence, 2 becomes 1. This is the last of us. This is the Joel Hussar heading over to the Firefly headquarters. And spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the same game number 2, the same fate for Joe over here. For that Joe Hussar. More Dramans move in. Where are they going? You've got 12 range. Oh, you're going after the towers. Not a bad move. Maybe you should have attacked from here instead. Neither player really using all of these water lanes, to be honest. What is a snapper? Yeah. Blue can easily go up the side here, up the back, and create a ruckus. Teal can easily go this way. We saw a little bit of engagement here, but not in a while. And both players, take a look at their resources after 35 minutes, are both broke. But our Italian is broke with 200 population and a whole bunch of units in the queue, whereas our Byzantine is broke with 140 population. The lower villager count for the first time, that raiding by Frost 9 with the Hussars, just absolutely crushing Ganji's economy. And he does not have the food currently to replenish very quickly. Although he is doing his best. Right as I say that, of course, he stops training villagers. These guys must have a good number of kills. These Genoese crossbow. Only 20. Okay, so not great. Hussars are moving forward. These Dramans are dangerously placed here on these bogs where the Hussars can go. Frost 9 may have gone a little bit overkill on the wood. 16,500. And now it looks like Ganji is raiding the wood line, but there are ships. There's Hussars already here to greet him. So not expecting that to get too much done. Oh, boom, go the ships. Okay, good get there for Ganji, who finally manages to put Frost 9's navy into normal numbers. No more 54 galleons. Now we're down to 29 galleons, 4 cannons, a bunch of fire ships, and demo ships as well. But the pace has slowed down. Hussar tried to raid, but a village killed him. A village made up of 5 or 6 villagers. And let's see what can happen here. This entire lumberjack industry to the right side of the map has been cleared out, whereas Frost 9's is nice and safe and secure for now. Fire ships are moving in. I love that our Byzantine is committing to these fire ships. This should be a pretty good fight for our Byzantine, by the way. But the Dramans, why are the Dramans moving so much? There you go. Keep him nice and safe in the back. You don't need to go 6 tiles closer to your opponent when your range is 12. You also don't need to be afraid of a few Hussars, not with fire ships out. Frost 9 comfortable in the left side that he can take the battle. Here on the right, he's got 21 ships in reserves waiting for the order to move in. Ganji expands with a second town center. Okay, so he does not want to invest any more food in villagers. He would rather spend the wood, spend the stone, so those villagers have a place to run and hide when the Hussars inevitably show up. And now his hussars are the ones showing up, but they're not going to survive very long against this meat grinder of galleons. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, beautifully placed barracks here. What a wall off from our Italian in teal, and all of the hussars die, getting absolutely nothing done. And in come the fire ships, in come the galleys, in come the... But again, the Dramans, why are the Dramans going face to face? Am I like missing something? They have 12 range. Ooh, the hussar backstab comes in and tries to pick off a few of the Dramans. That's right, pull your opponent back to your tower. Your keep attacks on a 15. The bonus for ships is 10. Let's see how this goes, because the Italian Navy is just pummeling the Byzantine one, even though, again, I mean, I had to open my big mouth and say I think the Byzantine Navy is a little bit better. But Ganji behind all this has massed up a few hussars of his own. Even though to the right side, they're not getting very much done at all. On the left, the Navy here is the real story. I mean, pull back. No? Let your opponent cut his teeth on a few of these towers. And now Ganji's raiding to the back. Town center garrisoned with a 1 huge villager. Okay, Frost9 is on a warpath now. He wants to demolish as much. He's finally got the numbers to where he feels comfortable. 35 ships on the right side. 16, 20, 27 ships on the left side. Hussars are trying to raid to the back, but little do they know there is nothing here. There is no lumberjacking. There is no lumber industry at all. And Frost9 is starting to clear up some infrastructure here. This might be pretty bad for our Byzantine, but he's got 5 docks here. They can reinforce all the livelong day. Ganji's wood is pretty good. His gold is non-existent. He's got 0 villagers on gold right now. 700 gold. He's selling 3,000 wood, 1,000 food, anything and everything he possibly can to get his gold so that he can train, build, construct, whatever the word is for ships. More ships. He is getting pushed back here on the right side as well, is Frost9. What a crazy back and forth. Both of these players have just met in the center of the map, whether it's center left or center right, and just have had such a difficult time. I mean, Ganji is expending so many hussars to reach 9 villagers when there's literally 22 of them here, very exposed. And he can get at them very quickly. Instead of going right, he just goes up. And now Frost9 raiding with his hussars, attacking with his ships, attacking with his ships. Frost9 is just putting on so much aggression. Ganji, for the longest time, has not had the greatest army count, even though his civilian population has basically been keeping him in the game, keeping his production up and running. I love that these hussars are not finding anything, but now finally, holy moly. Look at what we're looking at here. 47 villagers, if there was ever a ripe target. Okay, Ganji discovers it. He sees it. Immediately send hussars. Immediately start training. He's got 38 hussars. Where are they? Where are his hussars? They're back home. Okay, now he's sending them. Let's see if they make it here. This is a long, arduous journey. He might need Sam to carry him up the mountain. Oh, the hussars are closing in on the fishing ships, the fire ships. Okay, but here we go. He's going straight up the guts. He's gonna have to go by a few castles. Why did you stop with these 10? Okay, so the first group of hussars is definitely going to die. That being said, we'll see how many of these 19 survive. Oh my god. Oh my, this is probably the worst possible route he could have taken, but it doesn't matter. Just get in there. Get in there. There's so many. Even 13 hussars with 2/3 of their health should be enough to get rid of all of those villagers. What an absolutely crazy game number 1 of this best of 7 semi-final. Ooh, demos go boom as more ships die. Fire ships just absolutely slaughtering everything in their path. 1 fire ship stands strong against the entire Italian fleet, pays the price. And look at this. The hussars, even though he lost half of them on the way, en route, the other surviving half do manage to kill a lot. I mean, I keep pivoting. I'm like, you know those steel balls that when you click the one on the left, it hits the 3 in the middle, and then the one on the right goes away or goes to the right, and then it falls and clicks, and then the one on the left clicks. I feel like my eyes are like that. They're going pivoting left, then they're pivoting right. Oh, Ganji needs to find better pathing for these Hussars. He's got 72 villagers on food, 54 on wood. Frost9 has spent 10,000 of his massive wood bankroll, which shows because he very much at the moment has water supremacy on the northern half of the map. Oh, the Hussars do manage to sneak in here. They'll get a few kills, but again, not really that many. One town center is down. Another one left. What is our Byzantine building on the land? Oh my god, he's building fishing ships. I said we're probably not going to see them. He's got 3 camels, 2 monks, 14 Hussars. Less than half the army count of his opponent. And he's sending Hussars against a cavalry killing machine. The Genoese crossbow comes in with a decent attack bonus, +6 camel, +7 cavalry, which means that, again, whatever the Byzantine throws this way. Ooh, he tried to try. That was so close. That was so close. If there was just one villager on this side. Actually, can you wall this off? I don't know if you can wall that part off. Maybe you can. If you could, that was very, very dangerous there for Frost9. Could have lost a whole bunch of Hussars. One Hussar finds another clump of 8 villagers as what are these? You are fire ships. Ganji reclaiming his ancestral lumber lands here to the right where he was kicked off by Frost9 much earlier. And the pace of the game has slowed yet again. Both players completely broke. No stone, no gold, barely any food. Ganji has barely any wood. Frost9's got 11,000 almost wood in the bank. Maybe sell, maybe use it. I don't know what to tell him. He's at 200 population, training 29 Hussars. I don't understand the use of these Dramens. Am I missing something? Is there a reason Ganji is coming 2 or 3 tiles away from his attack unit with the Dramens? Frost9 sandwiches a bunch of these fire ships, and all of a sudden what looked like a pretty impressive navy here a few minutes ago. Maybe still a pretty impressive navy, although might not want to focus on the Hussars, might want to start attacking some galleons. Our Italian navy enough in size that it can one-shot the fire ships, but that's not going to last very long as the fire ships push it back. And now the Dramens yet again, 7 of them. Oh, they're running away from Hussars. Do Hussars come with bonuses against ships? I don't think so. No. So why is he so scared of 11 damage against... Okay, 10 damage on a 125 HP unit. I don't know that you necessarily need to be so scared of that. Cannon galleons making their presence felt. More Hussars, 16 of them on this side of the map. Villagers are back, but instead of 47, there are 8. So Ganji did a fantastic job not only gutting that part of the map, but also scaring Frost9 into not repopulating that part of the map, as he himself now falls prey to a few Hussars. But the Dramens are here. Let's see how much damage they can do. Probably a significant amount. Ooh. Galleons close, Dramens die. Only 2 left. I got very excited there. I thought they were going to do a lot more damage than they did. Frost9 mixing in some pikemen, moving forward on the right side. Oh man, is he finally contesting the center island control here of our Byzantine? Yes, he is. And Frost9 takes game number 1 in an absolute water slugfest. Oh, yeah, look at this. Is this lumber camp even done? Yeah, it's done. Absolutely incredible gameplay out of both of these players. Let's take a look at the stats. Look at the kill count. 80 kills difference is less than 10%. That is crazy, but ultimately 167 villagers killed to 82 villager killed is really, I think, the crippling effect that Frost9 had on Ganji's economy. Even though Ganji, look at 82 villagers, not a terrible kill. So we've got fast fire ships for our Byzantine. No surprise there, given their features. Galleons for the Italian. Haha, the Italian galleon. I wonder if Stallone ever thought of calling himself that in his early porno days. PKPM halfway through the game, PKPM right at the beginning of the game. Let's take a look at the economies. Oh man, our Byzantine economy, about, what is that, 23? So about just under 20% bigger. Relic gold, each one with 3 relics. Looks like our Byzantine got all the resources except for a bit more gold. Did our Italian get a bit more wood? A lot more food here for our Byzantine. Wow. I mean, game number 1. What do you say about a game like this? Just an absolute, like I said, slugfest. And I opened my big mouth. I said the Byzantine Navy would be the stronger. I was wrong there. I said you needed to control the land in order to win in this map, and I was wrong there. Although, I will say I did correct myself by taking another look at the mini-map. There is no place on this map, except maybe like this one farm, that is safe from attacks from the water, right? There's not a single place on this map. Not on Center Islands, not on Home Islands. And ultimately, with the bigger navy, he dies with 100, rather, he wins with 100 army count. Ganji dying with 26, just unable to replenish. I think he just took unfortunate fights with his Dramens, because again, if your Dramen is within reach of a galleon that has 9 range to your 12, you're in trouble. Because the Dramens are not meant to really withstand that kind of punishment, that kind of pounding. That's why you kind of want to mix them in with some fire ships and keep him nice and safe, a little bit of an escort. But ultimately, wow, game number 1 delivered. Frost9 takes the lead 1-0. Let's see how both of these players do in game number 2. Game number 2 finds us on a bit of a drier map. Not a lot of water, not any water on this map, as Frost9 spawns as the Incas in teal at the top of our screen. Ganji as the Tatars with an Eagle Scout to the south of the map. How come one player gets an elite Eagle Warrior and the other gets an Eagle Scout? I mean, look at the stats on these units. Okay. In any event, welcome to Hyper Random. Incas versus Tatars. Now, will Frost9, how do I put this, change my opinion about the Incas and their shortcomings in deathmatch? For now, 1 kill for our Inca, and Step Lancers are out. Step Lancers are going to be very, very powerful, which is why our Inca is already going up to 4 castles. I expect the Kamayukes to start popping out, and until they do, Halberdiers and Eagle Warriors should be pretty damn good. Remember, Halberdiers obviously plus 32 attack bonus against cavalry, but little known fact, Eagles also have a plus 4 attack against cavalry. And keeping in mind, we are watching the Incas, which means our Eagles come with extra armor, not more HP like the Mayans, not a bigger attack like the Aztecs, but more armor, so they can take a bigger punch from these Step Lancers. Even though the Step Lancers attack on a 14, I don't think they come with any kind of bonuses that are relevant, or at all, I guess. Cavalry resistance -3, always fun to see that Ethiopian Royal Heirs in action. Random Llama seems to have traded hands a few times, and here come the Kamayukes. Let's see how the players decide to play this. The Tatars, I don't know, with all the extra armor, you might want to go ranged instead of melee, to be honest. Okay, so he agrees slightly with me, despite the fact that he's training 112 heavy elite, rather, Step Lancers. He's starting to mix in. What is he attacking there? Definitely an eagle, right? The longevity of that attack tells us that that's an eagle. But our Tatar might want to start mixing in a lot more ranged units, even though, again, with the eagles in play, you have to be very careful. But there's a lot of high ground here, especially right in front of the Incan base, and the Tatars do 50% more damage from the high ground compared to the usual 25% more damage. Which is not explaining why Ganji took the fight from the low ground there. Now, he might want to use his range for everything other than the eagles. I mean, I say that as if it's easy in the middle of microing 60 plus units to choose these specific ones to attack those specific ones. Okay, he retreats here to the forward position of his own base. Step Lancers shouldn't really be too worried about this army composition, especially not with the Cav Archers backing them up. Remember, we are in post-Imperial Age with all upgrades research, so I'm just going to do this. Take a look at their armor. 7 pierce, 6 melee, and they attack on an 11. So they should be able, plus remember not that it's relevant now in Deathmatch, but they do get Parthian tactics for free, which tells us that they are going to come with a nice little attack bonus against these halberdiers. Let's see it right now. Spearman plus 6. So he needs these guys to poke away at the halbs. And also, honestly, the Kamukes, I don't think their pierce armor is very good either, right? The Kamukes. Oh, no, never mind. Oh, yeah, sorry, I forgot about fabric shields. My bad. Onager versus Onager. This is the Siege Onagerless civilization battle here. Oh, what a beautiful, beautiful battle shaping up. This is a lot of Cav Archers here. Ganji's army is just beautiful to look at. It is just so aesthetically pleasing. I don't know why. Something about heavy Cav Archers, something about heavy elite, I did it again, elite Step Lancers. I just think they're such pretty units, especially in blue. But Frost 9 is here with a lot of trash. He said, hey, you played the Byzantine last game. I kind of like the idea of going a trash heavy composition. So let me build no fewer than 82 halberdiers. Okay, a bit of a body moving this way. Let's take a look at the resource patches, by the way. The gold, 687 gold per patch. Am I missing something? Is that the only gold on the map? I'm going to zoom out. Apologies to anyone on a smaller screen. No, am I clicking sucks? No, there's 38,000 gold. Where is the gold? I'm not seeing it on the minimap. Have the players already expanded and gobbled it up? Okay, there's a little bit here on the left and left. Okay, so I just missed it. It kind of blended into the color of the map, which for an Arabia style map, finally we've got Arabia style colors. Okay, mangonels firing on mangonels, but obviously the ones on the high ground are going to do so much better than the ones on the low ground. Cav Archers moving in. What are they trying to snipe? Look at this body of halberdiers. What the hell? Now that your mangonels are dead. Oh, what a terrible loss there for Ganji. So many Step Lancers dying. He's mixing in Keshiks. Keshiks are going to be a super fun way to get a little bit of gold. Remember, every time they poke, every time they prod at an opponent, they generate a little bit of gold, although not when they run straight into a whole bunch of pointy sticks, whether they're held by halberdiers or whether they're held by Kamukes. Army count for Frost 9 almost double that of his opponent, but he is down 40 villagers. And despite the fact that our Tatar has the quicker army, obviously with the horsey units, he needs to do a bit more raiding here. For now, he's picking off as many of these infantry units as possible, but that is just exposing his own units to mangonel fire. I keep saying mangonel instead of onager. Finally, Ganji moves forward with onagers of his own. Monks are dying, but again, why is our Tatar engaging from the low ground? This army could literally be 50% more powerful if he just finds some high ground somewhere. Needs to get a few trebs out to start contesting this encroachment, this Incan encroachment, which is moving down the left side of the map as these units continue their exploration. This is the Matthew Perry, Chris Farley, I forget the name of the movie. Due North, was it called? Where Matthew Perry tries to beat Lewis and Clark to the west, to the Pacific, and he hires Chris Farley. Was it Chris Farley's last movie that he made? Man, oh man, I'm getting very nostalgic right now thinking about that. I miss Chris Farley and his silliness. In any event, forget that. Eagles are going to raid. They're going to find a few Cavaliers who are going to lead them on a chase here all the way to the left, but Frost 9 is not falling for it. Never mind, he does kind of fall for it here. Oh, look at this little pass here in between the, what are these, palm trees? Palm forests? Oh, pardon me. Not a palm tree, a palm forest. It's not Mr., it's Doctor. I don't know why my brain is thinking of these things, as the Cav Archers are going to gut this finally expeditionary force of our Incas on the right. But all that means is that Frost 9 now has more population space to train more onagers, and that's exactly what he's doing. 3 more onagers, 5 more, 10 more Kamukes on the way as these Cavaliers gut the back of his base. Speaking of gutting the back of the base, these Eagle Warriors, how many kills on them? I'm trying to highlight just the Eagles and just do that. Only 8 kills on 13 Eagles. Oh, another terrible onager shot there for Ganji. He's doing a good job pulling these Kamayuks, but he needs to attack with the onagers a lot better. And all of his onagers are dead. Look at all that kindling on the ground. He only took out 3 or 4 of his, I think 4 opposing onagers, but that was an absolute disastrous trade there for our Tatar, who now finds himself down half the army count, down the villager count. The Eagles still are raiding in the back. 8 kills have become 12 with fewer, which means they are much more effective. A Treb will die. Will it? There we go. It does die, and there's a bunch more here. I don't know if Frost9 has seen them. Yeah, he must have. He's sending a few more of his Kamayuks forward. Man, is it great to have cheaper food costing units for the Incas. Although I think that was recently nerfed, I want to say, right? It used to be 30% cheaper in Imperial food cost. I think now it's 25. I hesitate with nerf just because I wasn't sure if I had the right lingo. I think people forget that I'm not that young. I'm not that old, but I'm not that young either. So using words like nerf to me just is not very natural. What an absolute stunner of a unit. Look at the size of that freaking spear, that lance with its tuft. I'm assuming of some kind of bird feathers or hair, maybe eagle warrior. Oh, where did you come from? Where did you come from, Mr. Keshik? This looks like a lot more than 21 Keshiks. Oh, that's because they're mixed in with a whole bunch of step lancers. Massive battle here, but the Kamayuks are not dying. Oh no. I want to see that again. That was just absolutely epic. Okay, so he moves in. I mean, good for Ganji. I didn't even notice that he's got 76 army supply going up against 25 and 16 is, I forget the Treb, 25 and 12, 37. Actually, no, never mind. 35 and 13 is 48. But the blink of an eye game changer unit is here. Are there reinforcements? Nowhere close. So let's see the power of a counter unit in action here. He sends a few eagles forward. I don't know, intentionally or not, just to give the onagers time to get to the battlefield. The cavalry, for some reason, retreats. Those eagles die. Their purpose in life having been served. And let's see how many Kamayuks now. Okay, so still 39. Oh, oops. Yeah, he needed onagers. So the onagers didn't really do much. I overhyped the onagers here for Frost9. They died almost immediately. The Trebs are also trying to take pot shots at these cav archers. And man, the frickin' Kamayuks. 16 kills in the blink of an eye. Wow, and Frost9. Okay, so I might look at the Incas a little bit differently, although do we want to call it a civ win? I'm trying to think. I don't know. The Tatars aren't defenseless here. They do have hand cannoneers. They do have some pretty good raiding units. You know, this base is secure, but it's not super duper secure. I mean, the Keshik has 7 pierce armor. The Step Lancer's got 7 pierce armor. So you can raid pretty well. Now, our Inca did an amazing job playing his cards close to his vest here. Look at this. There's not a single villager that can't run into some kind of structure over here, which is absolutely fantastic. Ultimately, though, it is Ganji who runs out of resources, who takes one big bad engagement here in the center of the map, taps out, and Frost9, just like that, takes a 2-0 lead. Let's see if Ganji can get some of his magic, some of his mojo back in game number 3, or will Frost9's, oh man, that's a confusing thing. Frost9's winning streak continue? Let's find out. Game number 3, we went from water to sand to lush grasslands as William the Conqueror, no less. Okay, we are in the presence of a very, very famous person. Looks like he duplicated himself, and now he's fighting for all sides of the war. In any event, Frost 9 as our teal Persian. We know what that means. Let's see those big wrinkly gray butts. Ganji this time spawning as the Gujaras. Okay. He's going to have to get some camels. Okay, he's getting camels. He's going to have to get some camels ASAP, because you know exactly what's going to pop out now. Frost 9, not his first time at the rodeo with the Persians, I see. Ooh, that villager was very close to dying. Surprisingly, even with hero units, neither player here really losing. Oh no, never mind. Ganji gets a villager kill. Fantastic there by him. But Frost 9 is starting to mix in some halberdiers. 48 halberdiers. His first castle is still not up. The Persians, if they can get their war machine going, they are nigh unstoppable. The only issue is they need to get that war machine going by getting castles up, and that's going to take a while. Castles are not exactly the quickest producing structure in this game. So our Gurjara does have an opportunity. Remember, they have much bigger attack bonuses here. Plus 25 against cavalry compared to the usual plus 18. The only issue for Ganji is he's got to keep these camels safe. If I was, I'm reminded of the scene in The Fellowship of the Rings where Gandalf tells Frodo, keep it hidden, keep it safe. And that's exactly what I would tell Ganji here. This is definitely not something you want to do. Engage into halberdiers with camels. Okay, so he's adding elephant archers. Probably chakrams would have been a better move. How many castles does he have? Just the one castle. And it's not training any chakrams. Now, chakrams would absolutely mow this army down. It looks like the camels at the back of Frost 9's base have also been cleared up. But the name of the game here for Ganji, in my opinion... Oh my god, was that a Shravamsha rider? What the hell do you need a Shravamsha rider for? The name of the game for our Gurjara is do everything you possibly can to keep your camels safe. Okay, he's adding scorpions, he's adding chakrams, but the Persian war machine is already here. These elephants, which move super fast. Being sarcastic. They do move faster than they did before. 0.88 tiles per second. So we're seeing a bit of an elephant battle here. Ellie versus Ellie, but I don't know that necessarily elephant archers are not what you want. I get it. I do. You want to zone out the halberdiers with about as chunky, as meaty a fist as you possibly can close and clutch. But where are the camel numbers? Why are you going full on elephant archer? These guys attack like a longbow against a siege elephant, against a war elephant that has 7 armor. You're doing 4 damage. 4 damage to a unit that's at 620 HP, and you don't come with any bonuses. I don't know. I'm assuming he's going to be targeting down these halberdiers, but that's why you have the chakram. So he's basically countering, and the Savars are out as well. Oh, things are going real pear-shaped here for our Gurjara in blue, who is getting pushed into. I love that he's expanding to the back like a builder. Bob the Builder. But his forward position is being crushed into. He's got 50 gold. Our Persian has 4,000 gold, and he didn't really need to do much. All he needed to do was train a few elephants. Look at that. They're just such a powerful unit. I mean, obviously everyone would love to have 200 elephants, but you don't really need 200 elephants. 16 will just get the ball, the wrecking ball rolling. I'm trying to click on them. That's, oh wow, 9,000 HP in 16 units is just absolutely ridiculous. Mix in the Savar. I mean, I don't know. I think the Shravamsha rider was a bit of a mistake. Probably just clicking whatever he could. But Ganji's army composition here in game number 3, which Frost 9 takes a... Oh, wow. Wow, Ganji's in a real spot of trouble right now. His army composition was just not there. Now, I love what he did creating these alleys in between these structures and trying to take the fights there. But the more you back up into your alleys, the more your opponent is going to come forward. Where are you? I saw bombard cannons. Don't be shy. Don't hide. 4 bombard cannons. And wow. Well, this game lasted 8 minutes. That's just, like I said, the Persians, once they get their war machine rolling, they are just almost impossible to stop. But I do think I mean, I don't know if there's more experienced deathmatch players here that have played this version of the game much more recently than I have, but I feel like the Persians, unless you go Savar first, there's a window where you can attack into them when their castles aren't up, and you can cause a bit of damage yourself. Now, the Gurjara, what he could have done, if he really wanted to go bonkers... Oh, sorry, I think there's an issue with my microphone. Oh, 1 second, everyone. Yeah, sorry about that. What he could have done if he wanted to go real bonkers, because he did have four stables. I was going to say just spam Hussars. Spam Hussars and just try to snipe villagers the entire time and then push out with your structures into the center while your food... I mean, you start with 20,000 food. Not only that, you have Kshatriyas, which means you have the cheapest Hussars in the game at 25% off. I'm just trying to think of anything and everything that could stop the Persian war machine from getting going, because once it gets going, I mean, not only the strongest unit in the game, the War Elephant, then you've got the Savar, which, by the way, looks pretty damn badass. And then you've got Bombard Cannons mixed in as well, Trebs, Halberdiers, literally some of the most powerful units and powerful counter units in the entire game are going to be breathing down your neck. And even though he tried to stop with the elephants, I wish this game could have lasted at least maybe another 20 minutes. Maybe 10. I don't want to be greedy, but 20 minutes. In any event, Frost9 continues his winning streak, and Ganji falls in game number 3. The Gurjara's no match for the might of the wrinkly tramp stamp elephant ass as Frost9 takes game number 3. And man, are we going to see a 4-0 blowout, or will Ganji be able to push back against the teal tide of death? Let's find out in game number 4. Game number 4 is upon us. Will it be the last? Will it be the first in a crazy comeback for our Ganji, who is Romans in blue, taking on Frost9 in teal yet again as the Hindustanis? Okay, if you've seen my previous premieres, my casts of these tournament games for the Fastest Chaos, you know my thoughts about the Hindustanis. They have just been underperforming like crazy, even though they have the baddest of the baddest Leroy Brown camels, the baddest camel in all the whole damn town, the Imperial Camel Rider. They have just been super duper lackluster, and we are on a map that kind of looks like Arena meets Fortress meets, I don't know why there's a bunch of gravel roads in the middle here. Somebody wanted to make a big public square, so very apropos that we have a Roman here with their big piazzas. Looks like a kill already here for our Hindustani. But how will the Roman play this? Will we see legionaries? Will we see, for now, just halberdiers? And will we see centurions, castles, scorpions? Definitely a must. You are the only player in the game to have scorpions with ballistics that can track your enemy down. Minimum range down to 2. They attack faster. They're cheaper. It's basically Schlachter privileges for scorpions, except like I like to say, you don't have to pay for it like with Schlachter. It just comes automatically. But Ganji has an opportunity here. Now, Romans, agree, disagree. I think they kind of peak in Castle Age. The Hindustanis have a much, I want to say, versatile. Yeah, I'm going to say versatile Imperial Age army with the camels, the Shatagni hand cannoneers. But they are themselves lacking in some respects. Is this, did he delete his own gate here? I did not catch that as I was rambling. Centurions are out. They create a 12-tile aura effect where all militia line units, and on the map we now have 0 militia line units, move and attack faster. They move 15% faster. They attack 20% faster. And we've seen halberdiers be the absolute bane of the Hindustani's existence here. That being said, not that many halberdiers and a good amount of hand cannoneers to the back ensure that these camels are safe. This might be the first time we've seen camels surviving 5 minutes into the game. Generally, they don't last very long, even though, again, they are Imperial. Ganji just throwing a few halberdiers. Is he just killing time? Is he building up a bigger army here? How many siege workshops does he have? 8 siege workshops, pumping out 24 scorpions. This is going to be very problematic for our Hindustani. Where is blue going to the south with his cavaliers? To the north was a castle. Okay, so he's on an exploration mission. He wants to find other villagers, town centers, anything and everything that he can raid. Remember, deathmatch is played on explored, so both players know exactly where everything is except for their opponent's movements. Because explored, you still have fog of war, of course. What are you? You're a contingent of camels. 5 kills for you. Your HP is almost down to half. I mean, the Centurion is a pretty badass unit, but I don't know that it can engage into this many hand cannoneers and champions. Scorpions, though, are going to help out. 18 Scorpions. Ooh, but the bombard cannons are here to the back. They are firing. Press forward, Roman legionary. As Ganji moves forward, he needs some kind of death dealer, though. He needs a Treb. He needs, okay, so he's getting 6 Trebs. He's getting 8 Onagers, although cancels that and instead builds 8 more Trebs. So canceling the Onagers, getting the Trebs. That's about as death dealy as you can get for the Romans, I think. I don't really expect to see bombard cannons out of them. They don't really, I don't think they get bombard cannons. I love the cloak animation when they attack. That is super cool. Legionaries moving forward. No Centurion in sight. Okay, now the Centurion's moving forward, but now there's no Legionaries in sight. These are a combo unit, just like when I met my wife and she had a dog, and I'm not the world's biggest dog person. Even though I like dogs, she said, we are a combo deal. That is how you have to treat Centurions and Legionaries. They are a combo deal. You have to get them together. You want those Legionaries moving faster. You want them attacking faster. You want them tanking for these Scorpions that are just kind of standing here taking bombard cannonballs to the face. But 32 Scorpions, the camels close in. What an unfortunate time for Ganji to move his Scorpions. They were on move command. 30 becomes 19. This center part of the map is just an absolute bloodbath. Both units crashing, both players rather, crashing into each other, and here come the Rams. Centurion heading, trying to get a few villager kills. He'll probably get none, but will die in the attempt. Castle should go down unless these camels develop some kind of magic powers I'm not familiar with. Yeah, these Rams are going to shred through everything. Like I said, the Hindustanis kind of lackluster. That being said, Frost Nine's got enough bodies here. These hand cannoneers must have at least 100 kills. Yeah, 102. Okay. Look at the Ram. Look at the Ram blocking the attack, keeping his units safe. But there's not enough army here. And their Hindustani pushes out. There's a little bit of raiding here. I see to the back a few, what are you, Cavaliers, not even Centurions. And the Roman army is melted. What the hell happened? He had 31 Scorpions, but again, what an inopportune moment to put them on move command. And here we go, finally, Legionary Centurions, but they're charging straight to their deaths. Oh my goodness. 29 hand cannoneers left. Their HP is terrible. If our Roman can just close, if our Roman can just get some kind of attack going here, these hand cannoneers will melt, and then all of a sudden our Hindustani's out of food. He's out of gold. He can't train any more hand cannoneers. I mean, what do you do here as the Romans? Do you train some of your lackluster skirmishers? They're not great, right? They're not really that great, but it's really their bonus you want against these hand cannoneers. For now, our Roman is licking his heels, licking his wounds rather, as he clears up a little bit of a run by to the back of these camels, which exposes his front to bombards, trebs, and towers being pushed into the center. Cavalier, 6 kills. How many of those are villagers? All 6 are villagers. But the Roman is under siege. His army count down to below half of his opponents. What is it, by the way? Halberdiers, legionaries, and no more Centurions, even though a few of them are being trained. Is Frost 9 going to do this? Is he going to change my opinion not only about the Hindustanis, but also the Incas? Right? I don't know. We'll see. I'm a stubborn mule. 44 army supply. Frost9, I hope, is, for his sake, is not giving Ganji too much time to replenish his army. But Ganji, for his sake, I hope pulls back, because he is just attacking with individual units here that are just getting gunned down by these, again, Shatagni augmented hand cannoneers come with 9 range. That's just ridiculous, especially against the infantry, which moves super slow, which allows you to get another volley off. Okay, yeah, Roman's sacrificing a few units here to get the more expensive units of the Hindustani, but the Hindustani's not falling for it. The Bombards are sniping all the Scorpions, and Ganji's resources are absolutely atrocious. No food, no wood. He does have a good amount of gold, as does Frost9, by the way, who has a little bit more wood than his opponent, but has barely any food of himself and definitely has no stone. Castle is being repaired. Ganji spending the last of his stone here. Can he hold? Frost9 is on the verge of a 4-0 sweep, and he knows it. He is pushing in. He is not giving his opponent a break, although I say that. Nah, Ganji's army count stuck at 25. At least last quote-unquote break that he had 44 army supply. Now he's got... I mean, his army supply is smaller, but it's a lot less halberdiers. A lot fewer halberdiers, rather. Okay, hand cannoneers finally meeting their demise at the hands of some of these onagers. The onagers do have the exact same range, so against any other hand cannoneers, those hand cannoneers will need to retreat. But against Hindustani hand cannoneers, they can stick around much longer so that the Bombards can destroy them. Still at 25 army count. Frost9's army is growing and growing. He's 50 total population ahead of his opponent. But Ganji doing a fantastic job. He's being pushed into the north. So look what he does. Just expands to the south. And this is what when I watch lower elo games, even like mid-level elo games, a lot of players, if they suffer this kind of fate, they just tap out, they GG. But what really separates the higher elo players like these two from the pack is that when they get pushed into the left, they expand to the right. When they get pushed in at the top, they expand to the bottom. It's one of those squeeze toys that you have in your hand. You know, you squeeze the bottom, the top pops up like a muffin top. You squeeze the top, the bottom expands. Oh no, but no more expansion, no more muffin tops. Ganji falls 4-0 to our Hindustani, who redeems the civilization. Although I don't know, I keep coming back in my mind that one really bad battle. You had 31 Scorpions, Roman Scorpions, the best Scorpions in the game, bar none, with maybe the exception of Khmer, maybe the exception of them, maybe some Celt or Mongol with the quicker movement. But I still think the best Scorpions in the game, I mean, they come with ballistics. That's all you need to know as to why I formed my opinion that way. And he moved them at the worst possible time. He moved them, and then the camels snuck in and just were able to slaughter them. But wow, another fantastic performance out of both players. But ultimately, Ganji compressed a little bit too much, I guess. Looking around the map here, his villager count is not terrible. 91 villagers to 109. The problem for him, one of several, is that he did not conduct any raiding of his own. So Frost9 is free to just expand, even though Ganji is the one taking the stone up here to the north in a very overlooked mining camp in villager. Ooh, and Frost9 has seen it. But wow, what a fun set this has been. The semifinals, the first of them. By the time you're watching this, I believe the second set has already been played, and that will premiere maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day, depending on how much free time my baby wants to give me and how whiny and crying he is, or how much crying he's doing, and whether or not I have the energy to even just sit in a chair and not just collapse into my bed and pass out. Wow. Let's take a look at the numbers here. 190 halbs, 178 champions. We know who wins that. Peak APM for both players right at the same kind of 8 minute mark of the game. Economy for our Roman much better. Those quicker villagers. I don't know why that's so much better. He was down in villager count for the duration of the game. They do gather resources 5% faster, but I don't know that necessarily explains a 30% bigger economy. And he was not really doing many raids on the other side of the map. So interesting that his economy is that much bigger. I guess the percentage 5% gathering resources stat stacks over time and just gets better and better, I guess. Frost9 wasn't really raiding either. Villager kills for both players, not great. Frost9 killed 49, 24 for Ganji. Frost9 also looks like about 160 more kills than his opponent. But there you go. On the barren winter wonderland is where Frost9, who I believe is Swedish, so it's very apropos. Very apropos that actually both of these players might be Swedish, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna have to look that up. If you're watching this after the fact and let me know. I think actually both of them are Swedish. Okay. So in the suburbs of Stockholm, it is Frost9 who takes this game, or maybe it's Malmo. You guys impressed with my knowledge of Scandinavian cities? We used to drive from Oslo into Sweden to buy meat and booze because it was cheaper in 2004 to do that than to buy it in Oslo, because Oslo prices were just ridiculous. I think at the time I lived there, it was the most expensive city in the world. So fun story. That's how I kind of know my way around Sweden as well. But that's not why you're here. You don't care. You wanted to see units kill each other, and that's exactly what we saw. Some super fun games, super fun maneuvers. I absolutely adore Deathmatch. I am so happy to be a part of this tournament. Very, very big thank you to my co-casters, to my co-hosts, who have done about, 99.9% of the work while I just sit here and cast these games and enjoy the hell out of them. So thank you very much to all of the team. And yeah, hopefully this gave you a little bit of a taste of what Deathmatch is like. It seems like a very simplistic model. Everyone starts in Imperial. You don't have to research any technologies. You just plop down a whole bunch of structures like this and start fighting each other. But that is deceptively simple because you have to balance your resources so well. You have to know what civ you're playing against, which is true, I guess. And both of those points are true in any event. But like my co-caster Otter said, it's like a regular game, but in a pressure cooker, because within minutes, you can have you can have infinite resources, but if you don't build the right infrastructure, within minutes, your opponent will overwhelm you, as we saw the Persians did last game against the Gurjaras. And that is just why it's so much fun to me. Plus, we always get to see unique units. We always get to see Imperial Camel Riders. We always get to see, where are they? The Shatagni Hand Cannoneers with 9 range. 86 kills on 24 is not a bad ratio, just under 4 kills per unit. We also got to see a bunch of Centurions with their capes flowing, their cloaks, their capes, whatever they are, flowing in the wind, as well as Legionaries with their, I didn't notice that they have little adorable red, brown, burgundy shoes. But ultimately, Frost9 takes the set 4-0, advances to the finals, and we'll see based on tomorrow who he ends up playing. But wow, if you enjoyed what you saw, hit that thumbs up or maybe the like button. I think they're the same thing. Subscribe to the channel, enable notifications, all that good YouTube stuff that I am just absolutely terrible at promoting. And even if you didn't like it, hit that thumbs up and subscribe, because if you like Age of Empires, you should be supporting our community regardless. And after saying that, I will bid everyone a fantastic night. Thank you so much for joining, or maybe morning, maybe afternoon, maybe you're on your way to work, maybe you're taking a lunch break. And there will be more fun games in the next day or two based on the, not based on, but of the Fastest Chaos Deathmatch tournament, which is approaching its conclusion, its terminus point. And I am here for it. This set was just so much fun. Even though it was a 4-0, who doesn't want to see 4-3? I don't really have a vested interest. Like I always say, unless gambling's involved, I don't really have a vested interest in any sports outcomes or esports outcomes for that matter. And yeah, you got a taste of Deathmatch. You know you want some more, so join us for the next premiere. And until then, GG to both of these amazing players, and good luck and have fun. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.